Oh man, so Bitcoin is sat at $38,000 now, trying to show signs of a recovery. It's created higher lows. It's trying to get out of this rut from when it was close to 32. Is this finally the bottom? Have the markets now started to understand that, hang on, we overreacted here with this whole macroeconomic fear and some of the interest rates? Or could this just be a bull flag? We're going to take a look, but more importantly, we're going to look at some of the altcoins which are pumping today, which are MATIC, DOT, and LINK. We've not made a video covering those in a while, so let's cover off those coins and see how they're reacting now that Bitcoin's had a percent up today. As we can see here in the macroeconomy, very interesting futures market right now. We've got the Dow Jones up 1.57%, you've got S&P up 2.36%, and the Nasdaq up 3.17%. Very interesting, and again, perhaps a clue that maybe the market has decided we're overreacting. We know there's going to be interest rate hikes. We know the first is going to come in March, and maybe in May, June time, we'll get some shrinkage of the balance sheet. Are we overreacting? Can we start getting moving on some of our favorite growth stocks and therefore risk on assets such as Bitcoin? As you can see here, a good couple of days here on Bitcoin, bouncing off the floor at 32, 33 mark where wick down to. And now we're sitting at 38,000 with our next major resistance level at 38,405. Really important that we can break above 38,405 in order to build some sustainable momentum to the upside, because we're still in a very big downward trend. We're still bearish here on our daily EMA ribbon. But what you can see is on the 4-hourly EMA ribbon, we have just got our first 4-hourly, well, our first 2 or 3 4-hourly candles here above the EMA ribbon. So this is a good sign that we're flipping bullish, but we do want to see a higher high. We want to post a higher high. We want to break through this resistance level, maybe get a retest, and then head higher here on Bitcoin. And that's then going to set us up for some of our favorite altcoins. And today, you've got some altcoins really starting to pump today. If you look down the list on the right-hand side for the ones you can see here, just to run you through this, you can see Bitcoin's up 1%, and Ethereum's moving with a 2% move today. You've got Atom up 1.5%. You've got Cardano up 2.6%. Phantom up 2.5%. Make sure you watch my Phantom video for a dedicated video of Phantom. Solana an impressive 6.8%, 4.16% here on Algorand, 5% on Luna. Avalanche moving at 6.3% today. So really impressive move on the altcoins. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at 3 staples of my portfolio, which again, if you haven't watched my portfolio video, click here to watch that portfolio video where I explain how I think about my altcoin portfolio and how I start to think about the different narratives. And anybody who's watched that will know that MATIC, DOT, and LINK form important parts of my long-term portfolio, and I continue to dollar cost average in on these super cheap projects right now, which have got absolutely hammered, let's face it, here as Bitcoin retraced down to the downside. And you can see here from the highs we were getting to here, sitting at 2.8 here on MATIC when we met my technical target to the upside from a cup and handle pattern. You can see we got absolutely devastated here on MATIC. If I take the measured move to the downside, you can see here at the low, we were chased as much as 55%, and even where we're sitting now, you got a 40% discount here on MATIC. And what MATIC is trying to do now is you can see it's almost trying to pull itself back up to the long-term trend line, get a retest, and continue to the upside. So an important move here for MATIC. It's quietly had a good 3 or 4 good green days here, which is indicating that if Bitcoin can keep its chin up and keep positive, then some of our favorite altcoins will start to trend in the right direction. Now remember, these are the clues. If your altcoin is not moving a multiple of the rate that Bitcoin is moving, when Bitcoin has 1% or 2 up, if your altcoin is not moving at least that, and ideally more, then there may well be a problem with the coin you're invested in. So use that as like a litmus test to see if you're in the right asset. So definitely still for me, this is a huge dollar cost average area mark for me on MATIC, because you're still at the neck of the cup line. If you remember when we got to the neck of this cup line, the neckline of this cup and handle pattern, this was an explosive move all the way up to 280. So for us to be picking up MATIC at 1.7, super juicy deal. One I'm definitely looking at and continue to dollar cost average in as well. Similarly here on Polkadot, again, a massive Q4 for Polkadot. You know, so much has been done in terms of fulfilling their white paper from a fundamental perspective. You know, the parachain auctions, very popular parachain winners, a lot of DOT locked up in these projects. It's just a shame that really Polkadot did not get moving in Q4, and part of that was Bitcoin was to blame. Now, I really did have my price target set at $74 here on Polkadot. I still maintain that for the long term. I mean, already we reached 55. So from 55, guys, if we do a very quick and dirty retracement to the downside, it fell as much as 70%, guys. And right now we're sitting at about 60-ish% here on DOT. Amazing discount on a top project that has been there, done that. Gavin Wood is the founder, one of the ex-co-founders of Ethereum. You don't get a better project than this. Solving an interoperability, Internet of Blockchains play, which we know is a narrative that is a hot narrative right now. I still cannot believe that DOT is this cheap right now, and definitely another one which I'm looking at picking up juicy deals on here on Polkadot. And then we have Link, guys. Again, the de facto Oracle play. When somebody thinks of creating a smart contract and pulling in data feeds, what do you think about partner with? You partner with Chainlink, right? You don't think of any of the other plays right now. You think of Chainlink because they had the first mover advantage and they are the de facto leader in this space. So again, a super big fall here on Chainlink, which initially you can see here the fall to the downside was a retracement of 64%, and currently you're still sitting at a discount of 56% here on Chainlink. Again, another solid project, another project which has been through bear and bull markets and has stood the test of time here on Chainlink. So definitely one, again, which is in my portfolio, continue to add in. You can just see how decimated. You're right at the bottom now of where you're at the bottom of your cup and handle pattern. So a full 100% retracement here to the downside at the 0 level on your Fibonacci. So another project which I am looking at is Chainlink. And overall, all three of these projects, guys, for me, are projects which I want to dollar cost average in. When you look at projects such as Solana as well, you can see there's a reason it's moving 7% today. And the reason is it got an absolute battering to the downside. And the crazy thing is, I know so many people that were FOMOing in on Solana in the 200s, in the high 190s, and now you're sitting at Solana on 97, guys. 97. And it's a 68% retracement here on Solana. Now, I understand there is some things you have to be worried about in terms of Solana, some of the fundamental issues, which keeps me a little bit cautious with completely going crazy with my Solana position. I also know this play is packed with a whole bunch of VC investors, and VC investors are notorious for offloading when they've made a massive return like they have here on Solana. They got in at pennies and they're having this massive move to the upside on Solana. So it probably wouldn't be my first pick in terms of where I'd be dollar cost averaging, but still you can see it's hugely undervalued from where it was. And I think that's the message we need to take from this video, guys. Right now, we need to look at our portfolio and look at our high conviction plays and say, what is the discount on offer right now? Because some of these discounts are crazy. It's a very juicy market. And if you're not going to purchase now, it's not financial advice. When are you going to purchase? If you're not purchasing on these retracements, right? When are you going to purchase? That's the key, because I keep talking about the importance of buying on these massive retracements and enjoying when it's running up to all-time highs. We can't do the opposite. You will fail at investing if you just need the green candles to give you conviction. You should be comfortable and teach yourself to buy in pain, buy when it's bleeding, buy when everyone's fearful. You've heard all these sayings, but now it's time to actually take action on that, to look at your portfolio, to say, okay, what am I underweight on? What am I overweight on? What do I wish I had some more of? When the markets were rallying, what did I wish I had more of? What has my opinion changed on? Which coin do I no longer like? What has changed fundamentally? Maybe the team's changed. Maybe they got hacked. Maybe something's happened. Do I need to change that? Has my thesis changed on that? And therefore I can offload some, for example, Solana, and maybe rotate into a Phantom. What is your plays? Write them down and then start playing out those positions now, because we still have a super retrace market. And the reality is, it's not going to stay this depressed for too long, guys. We know there's fears in the macroeconomy leading up to about the 16th of March, right? That's when the first interest rate is hiked. But my view on it is, once the interest rates start to hike, the market's going to realize this is a nothing burger and it's going to start to move fast. You can already see Bitcoin's here at 38. If it isn't a bear flag and we can't start building above 38, 405 or here on Bitcoin, it won't be long before we start touching the door on 40. And when we touch the door on 40, a lot of FOMO will start coming in. People will start to think this is the bottom. There's a lot of cash waiting on the sidelines, and you'll see that cash start to pile in quickly here on a lot of our favorite coins. Because trust me, that cash is not just going to sit there. People want to throw it in, but they're too scared to throw it in right now because they're scared of the bottom. That is why, as long-term investors, not financial advice, it's important that we continue to dollar cost average in. If we use Bitcoin as an example here, you buy a little bit more at 38. If it falls down to 32, you buy some more, as you should have when it was at 32 there. That's what you continue to play, because we can't time this bottom. Anybody that can tell you they can time the bottom, they don't know what they're talking about. We're in an uncertain macroeconomic situation. If Jerome Powell doesn't know what he's doing with interest rates in March, how is the stock market supposed to know? And then how is Bitcoin and altcoins supposed to know which direction they're heading in? It doesn't work that transparently, right? It takes time. You have to react to what's happening in the live market. This is why it's a test of psychology. This is why it's a test of conviction and your bottle, ultimately. So there you go, guys. That is what I'm seeing on 3 of our favorite altcoins in MATIC, DOT, and Chainlink. Still 3, which I have complete conviction in still. Nothing has changed from a fundamental perspective. I just look at how juicy some of these prices are getting and just wish you could just get more and more cash to load into some of these juicy plays which have retraced crazily. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you appreciate this type of content, don't forget to smash up the likes, subscribe. By the way, if you haven't got yourself set up on a VPN, guys, and you're trading crypto and yield farming and staking, you've got to do so in a safe manner, guys. You have to set yourself up a VPN. It was crazy when NordVPN reached out and they were telling me how dangerous things are without a VPN. I did a bit of researching and you can just see how crazy it is, how much of our data is exposed in the web. And it's really important that we use a VPN when playing around with crypto. So if you haven't checked that out, click the link in the description. Your coupon code is OHMAN, as you could have guessed. And they're kind enough to offer 70% off on 2-year plans, guys. That's 70% off a 2-year plan, and they're going to throw a month in for free. So it's cheap as chips anyway for your security here in crypto. If you're trading high levels or high amounts of crypto, it would be very crazy for you to not have a VPN set up. So consider getting that set up. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.